Howdy there. I got a lot of stuff I can show you, but I wanted to stop a minute and show you something that will help you get used to how Denise interacts with this program. First, we're going to create a dictation command. We create the folder, and we're going to call it dictation. And we're going to move it down here to the bottom. And we're going to create a command with that. We'll call that dictation 2. And so now we want to create a command that's going to activate that. So let's use a phrase here, and we're going to use say type and print just for right now. And in this we're going to send keys. We're going to add an action right here, and this helps us pick actions over here. And we want to send keys, which is here. We'll select that. And the keys that we want to send, this is kind of a variable helper here. These are the common ones. You select your field and click 1 in the brackets like that. I'm going to close that. And this is going to send whatever keys end up in this variable right here. This is going to be sent by the dictation payload that we're going to add right now. There's various payloads here, but dictation, you have regular and spelling. They are as they sound. We're going to pick regular. So type or print, and it should print whatever we want right there. We're going to save this. Save. And we're going to restart. Sometimes that makes things work a little better. And I'm going to open up this text document here. Print hello. Print period. Type the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Print period. Go, ignore me. Okay, so you see it prints out pretty good right there. So I'm not going to save that, of course. So we have a dictation now that we can use for something. Alright, there's a lot of things we can do with that dictation file. A lot of places you can apply it. I'm just going to give a quick example of a small little macro here and show you, just to familiarize you how to create stuff with Denise. Now before we get started, I want to make you familiar with what's going on here. If you go to your Guile 3D folder and you go to this SDK folder, this bottom one right here, and click and edit, this shows all the API call functions that exist within Denise. There's like show, agent hide, agent chat and speak. And what I've done is created a list here of API call functions that I've used, and they all work. And I'll include this in my Dropbox folder, for which you already have the link if you've been following along. And I'll show you how these are real handy to have. So let's start building our command here. First thing we want to do is add a command group, and we're going to call this sticky notes. And then I'm just going to copy that. And then we need to add a command. I'm going to call that the same thing, so I can just paste that there. And in this command, we're going to build this in our logical command builder. And the first thing we want to do is include Denise. Now, anytime you include Denise in any kind of operations, you have to add with this scrape function. The scrape function scrapes information from URLs, and Denise just happens to have a local host URL, and that's how these API call functions are sent to her. So we're going to select that, and then we go back to this file that I just showed you a few minutes ago, and this top one here is agent speak. Anytime you want her to say something, you use this. You just copy it, but only up to where it says text equals. We'll copy that, close that, and we paste that right into here. And now we have to decide what we want her to say. So just to be a little humorous, I'm going to put okay, comma, I'll we'll see what that sounds like.
Okay, I'll throw up a sticky note for you.
Good enough. Now, it took about a half a second to say, so we're going to, just to make it look more natural, we're going to add a pause right here. And pauses will be in the Vox Commando commands. And did I go the right place here? There it is, pause. We'll select. Now these are in milliseconds, so I'm just going to put 500 for right now. And now we need to add our key presses. So we're going to add, and we're going to select input keys, because this works the best, and send, and say select. Now for this, we have this over here, it's called our parameter helper. We can open this up, and it has various things in here that are commonly put in. Well, we're going to pick the Windows key. It should be right here. Left Windows key will do. Select the field and say insert. And I didn't put anything in this first part of the parameter, so I'm just going to get rid of those brackets. And it's the only place I could find the Windows key in this program. So I'm going to put that right there. And then we're going to add another command. All we have to do is right click and clone that action. Then when we go to our parameter helper again, just wipe this out, and we can add our own stuff. Now we want to do up twice, and field and insert, and we'll copy this. So we have two ups, and the reason I know this is because if I push my Windows key and I go up 1, 2, I end up on sticky notes right there. So after that, we'll say OK. We want to clone this action. Go to our parameter helper again, wipe that out, and we're going to put in enter, and we'll highlight the field, say insert, and OK. Now it's going to be Windows, up twice, and then enter. But there's going to be a timing issue because it's going to be too fast to get in between here, and it's going to fail. So I'm going to right click on clone action here and drag that pause right down in between there. Now we have these 2 half-second pauses in between. Now we can just see how that works right here.
Okay, I'll throw up a sticky note for you.
And it opened right up. Now that works pretty good. We're going to close that for right now. Say OK. Now we need to add a phrase to this. So for our phrase, let's just see how that works. Save. Sticky notes. Sticky notes. Okay, see, that didn't work too well. Let's silence that and see what's wrong. Let's just delete that and make our own little phrase. And right here, we'll say open sticky notes. Let's save that. Hey Denise, open sticky notes.
Okay, I'll throw up a sticky note for you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Alright, that worked okay. Now let's add another command to this. And this one we're going to use close sticky notes. So we're going to backspace here, close sticky notes. Now, close sticky notes. And for this, we need, I just happen to know when sticky notes is focused that Alt and F4 closes it and saves the note. So we're going to add this action. We're going to send keys again, input keys, send, and go to our parameter helper again, and we want to push down Alt, and at the same time push down F4. Highlight the field, say insert, say OK. And I'm going to have faith that works, but we need to create a phrase. Close sticky notes sounds good to me. Now we save this and we'll see what we can do with that. Hey Denise, Open sticky notes.
Okay, I'll throw up a sticky note for you.
Type, remember to pick up the kid at school. Type period. Type at 3 o'clock. Close sticky notes. Open sticky notes.
Okay, I'll throw up a sticky note for you.
Close sticky notes. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
And there's that part. Now you can add more things to this in here. We could add another one for new note, which is Control N. We could add various ones in here. And then when you close it all up, everything's all in one folder. And the very cool thing about this is when you create a command, if you want to save it, share it, or send it to someone, you can create a text document right here. And you open this up, make it a little smaller here so you can see. If I right click on this and say copy and go into any text document and paste, this becomes the command that I'm putting on my Dropbox that you copy into your command tree, and it turns right back into one of these command group folders. So you can play around with that, and I'm going to include something else here in just a minute. We'll save those changes, and I'll be right back. And finally, I'm going to include the commands for telling the time. I have this command right here, and what you do, of course, select all, copy, and we'll go back into our command tree. Anywhere down here, paste, and show you what we have. I have a scrape function here that makes Denise show, and a scrape function for Denise to say the last results for getting the time. I've disabled the on-screen display for the moment. I'll show you how this works. What time is it?
11:12 a.m.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Now you notice she started speaking just before she shows up. So we can change this. This is the agent show. Let's put a new command, and we'll put a pause in here. Vox Commando, we'll go for pause, select, and we're going to put on here, well, let's put 200 milliseconds. And let's add this up here into this place, so that'll give her time to show up before she starts speaking. Let's see how this works. Save changes. What time is it?
11:13 a.m.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Let's change that pause a little bit. Looks like it needs to be just a little longer. So we'll go back into this, and let's make this 500. That'll be about a half a second, and see how this works. Save changes. What time is it?
11:13 a.m.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Now you see that it gave her time to show up, so that might be an edit that you'll want to do. It'll give you practice. And if you want the on-screen display to display the time as well, all you have to do is enable this command by changing this to a 1, and now we'll see the on-screen display along with Denise. Save changes. What time is it?
11:14 a.m.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
And that's how that works. If you would rather change it a little bit, we could take and say if we want this one for her to show, let's say we disable that, put that into 0. We'll say OK, save changes. Now you have to do it a little different. Hey Denise, what time is it?
11:14 a.m.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
But if you would like it to be where she's not even there and just shows up, all we have to do is enable this function again. Whoops. Backspace, make it 1. Say OK. Save changes. And now it's like this. What time is it?
11:15 a.m.
Thanks, darling.
You're welcome.
And there you have how you can manipulate your time. My next one, I'm going to cover Google Calendar.